All right, I see I am live. Give me a second for my Google and YouTube to get my internet up to where it belongs. And I will be doing this live stream. I have a few things I'm going to cover this evening. So I want just to, there we go. All right. It's finally up to where it should be. All right, people. Welcome to the American Freedom Fighters. We have a few things to cover tonight that may be very interesting to you. I keep on getting these notifications and I'm trying to delete them so I can get on to what I'm doing here. I'm sorry I am late. I have had a very busy day. I have had some internet issues today. Excuse my hacking. That's what happens when you have lung issues. Thank you very much to the Vietnam War and Agent Orange. It likes to do damage to our bodies. All right, let's see here. I hope all my notifications are done coming in because they're interrupting things on my live stream. Like I say, once again, I am very sorry that I am late today. I wanted to get this started at 6 p.m. However, I was having internet issues. I do not know what the heck is going on with my internet issues. I know we've had some coronal mass ejections from our sun that have been affecting people around the United States. Don't know about around the world, but I know it's happening here. Let's see here. Trump withdraws endorsement of Mo Brooks for going woke. It's just a notification I got. See, there's things that are popping up here that I'm constantly getting information on. Let me see what else I'm getting on these notifications real quick while I'm live streaming here. Over 3.6 million refugees have fled Ukraine. Okay. Yes, and I feel sorry for them people. Let's see here. Video shows what's left. Mariupol. Russian forces continue wiping out Mariupol. Unfortunately, that's a terrible thing. Utah's Spencer Cox vetoes transgender sports ban. Second GOP governor to do so. Okay, so remember this when the elections come around, people. Let's see. Merrick Garland asks to probe Russians' war crimes in Ukraine. Two United States representatives have asked Attorney General Merrick Garland to investigate whether Russia has committed war crimes during its invasion of Ukraine. See, there's a lot of things that are going up, and I continually are getting these feeds, okay? Madeleine Albright, first female U.S. Secretary of State, dies. Well, rest in peace there, Madeleine. Let's see. Disney loses Florida Dems fundraiser over Don't Say Gay bill controversy. You know, this stuff is getting crazy, people. I mean, let these people go back in the closet and hide in the closet. We go ahead, we give them some freedom, and now they're overstepping their bounds. How schools can find the time to teach digital literacy skills. Well, you know, there's a thing called teaching. You know, if you don't know how to teach, you can never teach. That's what they go to college for, to get their teacher's degrees and such. Okay, I think that's enough of the notifications. I got 20 some odd other notifications, but I'm not going to get into those. I got other things I'm going to get into. One of them, I'm going to get into that now, and that is from the People's Convoy. This was from yesterday on their evening meeting, and I want to go ahead and play that for you if I can get it to work properly. hopefully it'll work out okay, people, because to me, it is important. All right. Now, let's see here. I will start this, and I will go to
the shark card works. Yay!
This is from the Freedom's Convoy, the People's Convoy in Hagerstown,
We
Maryland.
have steps. Who brought the steps? You did? Awesome. Thank you. That's great. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy tonight. Look who's on stage with me. Does anybody here want to lead us in prayer? You will. Come over here.
Amen. Well, Lord, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to gather with these amazing people on this night. And I just pray, Lord God, we know that you are still in the miracle working business. And Lord, we are believing for supernatural miracles to take place in this nation. Lord, we know that righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. And so I just pray that you would have mercy upon us. And we do declare that we shall see a balanced scales of justice in this land. And so, Father, I just pray for the people here at the People's Convoy tonight, that you would touch their hearts. Lord, whatever need maybe they have, I just ask you, God, to meet it. And you are the supplier of all of our needs according to your riches and glory. And Lord, you are rich and you are glorious. So, Father, I thank you for your abundance and your love. So bless this meeting. Bless every single speaker. In Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Turn it up.
Turn it up.
Can you turn it
Can you
up?
turn it up?
Turn it
Can you
up.
turn it up?
Anybody
Anybody know how to turn it up?
Turn
Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Let's
go.
Okay.
Okay.
Mike Landis.
Mike Landis.
I didn't realize
you were going to be that quick.
How's everybody doing?
How's everybody doing?
Everybody go
out and have fun on the convoy today?
Oh,
that's good. I spent my day in an airplane. I don't really like doing that. I'd rather be convoying.
This is Brian, one of the organizers of the People's Convoy.
So I guess I'll explain why I was in an airplane, which most of you know, but yesterday I got to meet with Joe Correa, a Democrat congressman out in California in Santa Ana, which was set up by some of our own people, Ruth and Joel. And that's pretty awesome because that's other people putting in work. We had they were there. Ruth and Joel were there. I was there. There's two firefighters from Firefighters for Freedom that lost their jobs out there, lifelong firefighters, because they refused to take the vaccine. There was a doctor there that represents Mr. Barkey, and there was two families that had vaccine-hurt children that were there. With the one very, very extensive documentation on what her daughter went through, to the point of being completely paralyzed for a while and having to relearn how to walk again. It was a good experience. It was an awesome way to start out and reach across the aisle. It shows that we are working with what we're doing. I know everybody is a little, I'll say, impatient here lately because it feels like we're spinning our wheels, literally. But it's working, and even though he was a good listener, I think he listened, but he was still typical politician answers, and which is to be expected, to be perfectly honest. There's a lot of other things I learned while I was out there with that. That kind of resonates as to why we get some of the answers we get, and some of that is that these counties. Right? Counties, sectors, whatever you want to call them, have taken money from the government during COVID. But what people don't understand is that part of taking that money was to guarantee that they were going to stand behind the vaccine mandate.
And
if they don't, they have to pay it back. Well, they don't have the money to pay it back, which is why we're seeing some of them, even though they want to talk, are reluctant
to really
push anything.
Once again,
it comes back to the money. Which is right. It's all fraud. It's all tyranny. It's all for the benefit of their own pockets and to make them look good and not have to deal with it. It's not about what's good for we the people. But nonetheless, the more we push on, and the more we do our convoy every day, and the more they block us, and the more we infiltrate, and the more we annoy them, the more stuff like this comes to the surface. The more ammo we have when we need to expose them. It's a long, slow process, and I know because I've heard the stories that everybody is getting a little down, maybe a little frustrated. I've heard the stories of what's happened the last few days around here, and I just want to reiterate to everybody that I don't know everything. Marcus don't, Brian don't, none of us do. But I will tell you this: we do have a couple years of experience under our belts of dealing with the government, as I told you before, and the government has way more resources and way more time than we do. And the government does not want us to do what we're doing at all. But we can't quit, and that's exactly why. Because if we quit, they win. And if they win, our freedoms go out the window for not just ourselves, but our kids and grandkids and everybody else that cheered us all on coming across the country. You can't fall victim to the bad actors or the rumors because they're implanted for a reason, right? I still see a huge group of people here, which makes me extremely happy. But I need y'all to understand that there's a lot of forces working against us, okay? I know you all have heard me say that I'm not worried about what happens to us for doing this because we're on the right side of evil, and when you're on the right side of evil, you're doing the Lord's work, and that's protected. However, when you're doing that, there's very evil forces that try and infiltrate their way in to stop what is good. And we're seeing that now. We're seeing the bad rumors, the bad press, people coming in that really are not a part of us trying to say things, people trying to get ideas in your heads that this is going on or that's going on. Right? That nobody can talk to the organizers of this, which I think is absurd because it usually takes me about a half an hour to walk from my truck to the shower trailer in the morning when I want to get a shower because I stop and talk to anybody that wants to talk to me. If you feel like you don't get that opportunity, it's not on purpose. I can promise you that because everybody wants to, and we want to talk to everybody. It's important. When we say that this is a community and a family, we mean it. It's been proven. We've seen everybody put their best foot forward to help this whole thing work. What I'm going to ask you guys is that you don't fall victim, like I said, to that hearsay, to the rumors, and anything else. And if you have those questions, track us down as best you can. And I know sometimes that's difficult. There's a lot going on. Believe me, I really didn't want to fly to California for this meeting and leave for 2.5 days, but that's also part of why we're here. And our own people set it up, and we have to do those type of things to move forward. Would I rather them come here? Yes, and I invited that man to come here. But there's also vaccine-hurt children that were there, so they can't come here, and they were an important part of being there. It was actually a really productive meeting. If you didn't get to see it, it was live streamed. It was a little difficult to hear probably because we were outside because they wanted us to wear masks to walk through the building, and then we could take them off for the meeting. And myself and the 2 firefighters said no. And they were like, well, you can take them off when you get in there. And I'm like, that's besides the point. Everything we're doing is about freedom. The firefighter stood there and he's like, I lost my job standing up for what's right. I'm not wearing a mask. He goes, I'll hold my breath. How's that? So they came out and talked to us, but it was a good interview. It was great. It was, there was the whole point of us doing this convoy, right, was for people's voices to be heard, not mine, not Brian's, not anybody specific, but the people's voices, and they did. Everybody there. I let everybody else talk, and I went last because the whole point of being there was for these people's voices to be heard, and I think it went extremely well. Whether it goes anywhere or not, it doesn't matter. The fact is that now there's proof that this isn't a one-sided thing. This is not a right-wing Trump rally like a lot of our mainstream media like to call it. It is not about the left or the right. It's about getting this issue resolved and getting our country back on track. And reaching out from across both aisles is exactly how we're going to do that. And I hope there's many more of those to come. But I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to be a process. So I don't want you to get discouraged. You're going to have to hang in there and hang tough and encourage other people if you need to leave to come for reinforcement, so we can just have this revolving door of people that can be here, because we need that presence. We also have some people setting up state stuff already. I talked to a lady today that's got 15 states already set up to go to their capitals on the 1st and the 12th of April to support what we're doing here. People are on board with what's happening. It's just difficult to get everybody to stand up and do something sometimes. They want to, they're just not sure. So it just takes a little push, and there's people out there that are good at pushing people, and this lady's one of them, which is awesome. It's great to see it all come together. I just don't want to see it fall apart because someone gives in to the evil temptations that are amongst us here. So please, just stay diligent, keep your eye on the prize, and we will win this, because I don't give up very easily, and we're not going anywhere. And it may get a little monotonous, and it may get a little annoying, and it may feel days like we're not getting anywhere. But I can tell you right now we do, because there's already been a couple people that have reached out. I don't want to say their names right now until they're confirmed, but more congressmen and senators that want to meet, and that's why we're here. The only way we're going to get it is to start bending their ears. Whether they do something or not, they're hearing what we're saying, at least, right? That's what I always said when we did the trucking stuff. They may not agree with us, but at least someday they heard what we said, and someday they're going to think about that. And as long as we keep convoying, they keep blocking the roads, cops keep doing the job for us, eventually something's going to have to give. And I'm not going to say it. I'll let Brian say it, because he's back too. But you know who they work for. So that being said, I just wanted to say that. I want to let you know how that meeting went. I want to tell everybody to just keep your heads about you and stay strong, and don't give in to the bad stuff, because we're not here to back down, and we're not here to give up, and we're certainly not here to lose, because we have an entire country that's counting on us. So this ugly guy is back, and he brought his truck this time. I feel. It almost feels normal that we have both our trucks here, because this is the first time we ever did anything where we didn't have our trucks together for something. So glad to have Brian back. I'm glad to be back on the ground. The only time I like to leave the ground is on my dirt bike, not on a plane. So with that being said, I'm just glad everybody's here, and we're going to keep on pushing on. So without further ado, I can't wait. I can't. Oh boy, questions. Here we go.
I'm out.
That's the word on the street. I believe it probably qualifies as a lot of shady shit. Yeah.
What better way to voice it than on the media?
That's why I said it. Put it out there. Not everybody knows that. I didn't even know that until yesterday. I was at after that meeting. I went to a small speaking engagement that was kind of sprung on me that I didn't know about, and I was actually brought to my attention by someone there that's working in Orange County, California, and has discovered that with the work that they're doing out there. Surprisingly not, believe it, I know everybody thinks California is pretty, uber liberal, we'll say, I guess, maybe, which is fine, but there's a lot of people out there that are not okay with what's going on. And there's people out there that have their own little coalitions in their counties and cities and stuff like that to push back against this stuff. And they've done a lot of good work. I met quite a few of them last night. And that's where that information came from. And it's legit information. So, not everybody knows that type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that's probably hidden somewhere that you can find as public record, but they don't make it easy to find because it doesn't look good, right? So yeah, we're gonna out them. That's what this whole movement is about, is the accountability, right? So that's part of holding them accountable, is wondering why they would accept that money for enforcing a mandate such as the vaccine when it's not proven. And that when we can prove that it's really not necessary. The thing is, I'm not a doctor. You want a vaccine, that's fine. That's your choice. We're all about your choice. But it's a virus. You can't protect from a virus. It's not a disease. Yeah, well, there's that. There's that too. I mean, Well, I'm not a doctor, so I ain't gonna call it anything. How's that sound?
It doesn't give you immunity. It's not a vaccine.
You're not wrong.
It's not a vaccine.
Yep, I know. So we're gonna hold him accountable. I think Brian wants to say some stuff here because he looks so enthused to be back up on the stage tonight. Anyway. Appreciate you guys. Glad everybody's still here. We're going to decide on what we're doing with the convoy tomorrow because we're looking at some rain for the next 2 days. But this weekend's shaping up to be a pretty good little rally weekend for everybody too. So just be back here tomorrow morning, normal time, 9 o'clock, and we'll let you know what our plans are for the day tomorrow. And I can't even say Mike. Here's the Mike because your name ain't Mike.
So, being from Seattle all the way over the other Washington, if rain would stop us, we'd never get anything done.
Man, Seattle's like the most dreariest town in the world. I tell you, it rains like 367 days a year in Seattle.
There you go, buddy.
There you go, buddy. Glad you're back.
Short cord. Welcome back.
Good evening. I said good evening.
There it is. I missed you guys. Wow. The girls were amazing. Thank you. I was fortunate enough to be able to go home and get a little R&R with my girls, my daughters, and of course the love of my life, Kayla. She tell you what, I couldn't do this without them. And if you don't put family up there at your top, I don't know. You better look in the mirror, dig deep, and find where your family is and put them up there at the top with you, because it's your family. That's the only way that you can do this. And you are all family to me as well, and that's why I'm back. It was great being home. It really was great being home, and I appreciate the I guess the understanding to allow me to go home, to have those days that I had. Sometimes doesn't feel like it's enough, though. I truly cherish my daughters, cherish love of my life very much, and they are everything to me. And without their support, I wouldn't be doing this. That's a fact. I've always said from the beginning of this, I've said, always speak the truth and always speak from the heart. Speak the truth and speak from your heart. I feel like I've stayed pretty true to that. I try to, at least with the from the heart part. The truth. I always tell the truth up here. There ain't no doubt about it. I call it like I see it, and I tell you straight up if something's messed up. Well, with that said, while home, I was getting reports that things were a little bit messed up. Looking into some of it, I find that what it's really all about is that we got a lot of people here with a lot of great ideas. There's a lot of people here busting their butt, working really hard. And in a family, you're bound to have those differences. You're bound to have arguments. You're bound to disagree on things. It's understandable. Like Mike said, don't let that divide you. Don't let rumors run rampant. While sometimes it may be difficult to talk to myself or Mike or Marcus or anybody else involved, we're still here to talk about it. We'll address it. I'll talk to you face to face about it. If you catch me walking around, come up and ask me straight up. Whatever it is on your mind, ask me straight up. And I'll answer you straight up. That ain't going to change. So no matter what the issue is, no matter what the topic may be, you want to ask a question, when I'm walking around, come ask me. I got you. With that said, united we stand, divided we fall. You should be living by that in this movement. United we stand, divided we fall. If you got an idea, bring it to the table. Don't walk around trying to divide and take people somewhere. Look, I ain't going to tell anybody they can't go anywhere. You want to go? You can go. I don't want you to go, but you can go. And I say that because if you're not here with this message, if you're not here as a family, if you're not here together, if you don't believe in what we're doing, then this ain't the place for you anyways. And all you're doing is causing problems. And just like I did on stage one night, you can get out. It's a fact. You can hate me or love me for saying it. That's the way it is. That's the absolute way it is. It doesn't mean our ideas are better, because I promise they ain't. I'll hear you out. We'll talk to it. Bring it to the table. But dividing is not going to work. Dividing us isn't accomplishing anything at all. You're not accomplishing a thing. I've asked from the beginning to understand that we need to do things diplomatically. It's that diplomatic process that is working. It's that diplomatic process that got Mike flown all the way across the country to meet with firefighters and those injured by the vax, to meet with a Democrat House member. It's diplomatic that Ted Cruz rode in the lead truck. It's diplomacy that has gotten those meetings on Capitol Hill. It's diplomacy that has gotten some to come here and talk. How we keep a hard line, like I won't go into a single meeting that's not live streamed. Because I'm not going to stand here and say I'm from the People's Convoy without the People's Convoy being able to see what's being said. If I go into a meeting on my own, as Brian Brazzi seeing my constituent, that's a little different, because I'm going to talk about me. But if I'm going as a representative of the People's Convoy, that shit's going to be live streamed because of accountability. Because if I mess up, I need to be accountable to you. You need to be able to say, Brian, you just messed up. Don't say that. Or I didn't like how that went, and this is why. It's about being transparent. It's about speaking the truth and from the heart. It's important. Schedule your meetings with your legislators. Go and talk to them. You want one of us there, we'll go. Just remember, I don't go in unless it's live streamed. That ain't going to change. There's a lot of hard-working people here. From the med tent to those at park, security, food, working behind the scenes, doing things in the tent for reimbursements, making sure the food supplies are taken care of. We've donated to multiple food banks at this point. We've donated to churches.
We're not
going to let anything go to waste.
So if it's
more than what we need,
then we're going
to donate it.
That's the
right thing to do.
That's taking care of your
community.
That's
That's taking care of the people in this community that are here taking care of us.
While
I was home,
said I would never
do it, but
I
looked up what it took
to
be on the city council. I looked up who the mayor was. I looked up how long it is before I can get him out. Turns out I can't because I don't actually live in the town limits. I gotta try to go for the township
or
the school board. What I want to say to that is every single person here that believes in this message should do the same thing. Look into who's running your town, your city, your school boards. Look into it.
And the
ones that have been a problem, the ones that are forcing your children to be masked, the ones that are trying to force the vaccines,
get
them out. Get them out. Because whether it's the township, the town, the city, the county, the district, the state, or this nation,
here it
comes. It is time to remind our government and governments around the world that they work for us. You know how cool it is to see that on a car or on an overpass? When? So a message I got here. All active duty and veterans, please meet at the front of the grandstands following this meeting. So if you are a veteran or on active duty, whether it's Guard, Reserve, or somehow you managed to slip in here on active duty, meet at the front of the grandstands when this is over. Thank you, sir.
Some of you
might know, some of you don't. It's going to be really hard to talk about, but I'm going to try to do it anyways to get through it. Tonight,
right now,
probably,
about a half hour ago, was officially the 6-month anniversary
of me losing my son.
I don't want to talk about it too much, and I'm not going to. It's my business. But the reason why I'm saying it is because through this entire
journey,
I've felt him
with me.
My daughters, my son, my future grandchildren,
your children, your grandchildren. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing. That is why I'm here. That is why I continue to stay here.
It's
why I don't want to go anywhere. The love and support of this community that we've built is necessary to continue to move forward. Not just for me, but for all of you. We have to continue to work together. We have to continue to care for one another. We have to continue to do right by each other.
You
may have disagreements,
but this
is bigger than you.
This is
bigger than me.
This is
bigger than us.
This
is for a nation. At this point, this is for the world. Canada is regrouping right now.
Those of you not aware, Dr. Paul Alexander, or as I like to call him, Dr.
Lock Them Up, went up to Canada to speak at a rally up there right now. He was just, I imagine he's on his way back. He actually missed his flight to go. You'll love this one because of the convoy.
That's what
That's what he gets for wearing a better flannel than me.
But I've
been talking to New Zealand
and
and Australia
to some
to some leadership there.
I saw
Amsterdam
has
even stood up. They've been doing some rallies too.
It's
spreading across the world.
But
I got to take my hats off because it all began with Canada. Thank you, Canada.
To
my brothers and sisters up north, we got your back, and I love you. We love you. Another point I want to touch on, I know this ain't super motivational, but I just feel like it's necessary for things that I saw. We've been very blessed
to
have the live streamers
and the
YouTubers along with us for this journey.
From
From Adelanto, California to here, we've had them with us this entire time. I seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank all of you, because without you, I think there'd be absolutely no coverage of this right now.
With
that said, there's been questions about their funding, people donating to them. Unless they're out there saying that the funds go to the People's Convoy, it's okay for them to make some money for doing their job. They're working. They're covering. It's okay to donate to the live streamers. It's okay to donate to the YouTubers. Help them. Help them. Help us. So don't be afraid of donating some stars, or whatever they call it. Don't be afraid of donating to their channels, because giving them that lets them stay doing what they're doing. It helps them maintain their equipment, helps them keep the batteries charged, helps them have a bed to lay in, because many of them are here in a small little car filled with camera equipment and luggage. So please, don't hate on the live streamers, YouTubers, for taking donations on their streams. It is 100% acceptable. I 100% support it. And live streamers, YouTubers, I don't know if I'm even calling it the right things, but because I just don't know that world. The new media, thank you, and continue doing what you're doing. I support you, and I appreciate you. Maybe one day I'll be able to start a TV channel. And on that channel, all I want is like half-hour segments from live streamers, documentary, people that are embedded in movements like this, YouTubers, telling the truth, having real news. Maybe one day that channel will exist. The People's World News? Better trademark that, buddy. Somebody's already grabbing it. Way to go. You should have bought that website before you said it. I learned that the hard way. Buy websites before you ever put out your idea. Also, I want to say, I don't know if any of you remember Taylor. Taylor Barker was down here in Taylor Built. Go follow him on Twitter at Taylor Built. But while he was here, his truck was stolen back home. They found the truck. They recovered it. And the idiots that stole the truck didn't realize he had a dash cam that both faced in and out. Busted. Karma. Instant karma. Then to top it off, they got the truck stuck in their own yard. But I do want to say to Taylor, thank you. If you're watching anywhere, Taylor Barker, thank you for the love and support you've shown us. I'm so sorry your truck was stolen, but thank goodness for the live camera and dumb criminals. I'm gonna finish it out for tonight. Tomorrow morning, like we said, we have the same time. I wanted to finish out, let y'all know I'm so happy to be back. Thank you for welcoming me back. I love you all. We're going to continue this fight. when it comes to the state levels, for those of you out there watching that are gearing up your states right now, I feel that a couple phone calls about, well, this person's doing this person's doing that. Listen, we're all in this together. Find a way to work together. Come together. And there's been people waiting for a date. I think, I still kind of feel that way, I guess, that it would be better if it was all on the same date. But the more I think about it, what does it matter? As long as you're standing up. What does it matter what date you do it? Head to the state capitol and do what we're doing here, because if you do it the right way and you don't give in and you don't leave, we'll eventually be covering all 50 states at the exact same time, wouldn't we? So for you back home, keep doing your thing, keep planning, keep organizing. Just remember, peacefully, law-abiding, always speak the truth and from the heart, and you can't go wrong. God bless you all and good night.
Hey, sorry, forgot one thing.
Did anybody lose one of the stick-on flagpoles, some badass flags?
Anybody lose
one on the highway? It was found today. Someone picked it up.
You did.
Come on up here, buddy.
Good. How are you? We got somebody to speak. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, nice to meet you. We got a guest speaker real quick. I'll let him introduce himself and say who he is. Why does your hat look better than mine? Never mind, he ain't speaking.
Thank you very much. How are y'all doing tonight? All right. Well, my name is Coy Griffin, and I'm honored to be here with you this evening. Anytime that I can get a mic and get before people, it's always a blessing because your time is your most important gift, and you're giving it here today, and you're giving it because you're concerned. And as I walk through this crowd, it takes me back. The faces that I see here today are so eerily resemblant of the same faces that I saw as I stood on the west side of the Capitol on January the 6th. I was in D.C. on that day, and I know that there was probably many of you that were there on that day as well with the same heart of concern for our country, and in particularly the fraud that I believe took place on November 3rd of 2020. As I founded the group Cowboys for Trump, if I can take you back a little bit about myself, I'm from New Mexico. I grew up in the logging and sawmill business. And our business was a small mom-and-pop sawmill that got shut down about 25 years ago because of the Mexican spotted owl. I'm sure a lot of y'all remember that. But we were one of them that got put out, but being gritty and being from the country, we kept digging. We started out fitting elk hunters. We got a few cows back home, and we're just like so many of y'all, just getting by and trying to stay off the government check and trying to earn our own. But I right now currently I've got a pretty colorful life. I've got a chance to live overseas in Paris, France. I worked in a Wild West show. I served the most important time of my life as a pastor of a Cowboy church. I pastored a church for about 5 years. I opened a business, a food business, one of the hardest. I struggled with regulations, and then it kind of pushed me towards the realm of politics. I ran for county commissioner in New Mexico and Otero County, and I won the office by a very large percentage because the people in my community knew me, and they knew who I was, and they knew what I stood for, and they knew the fight that I had in me as well. So I got started with my commission seat, and the president was making a strong stand on our southern border to secure our border in a county, in a state that's directly affected by it, and in a county that's directly affected by it. So I wanted to put a group of people together to support the president. We made a horseback ride right through here. We went from Cumberland, Maryland, to Washington, D.C. We started on February 15th of 2019. And many of y'all remember back, that was a time whenever the president had shut the government down for border funding, and he was fixing to shut it down again or either go executive. So I thought, how can we be a strong sort of show of support for the president I put a group of guys together in Cumberland, Maryland, and we rode into Washington, D.C., about 170 miles horseback. And I thought, well, what should we call ourselves? Well, we'll just call ourselves Cowboys for Trump, I guess. And so that's how Cowboys for Trump was founded. It was totally grassroots. I see the media says Coy Griffin's a co-founder of Cowboys for Trump, and I kind of sit back and I go, co-founder? I founded Cowboys for Trump. And then I think, you know what? I am a co-founder because God's the one that founded it. He just decided to take me on board with him, and I'm honored and blessed to do it. But at the end of that trip, I got a chance to visit with the president for about 20 minutes on the telephone, President Trump. And President Trump had invited me to come back to the Oval Office on that day. He said, Coy, I didn't know y'all were out there. I'd have welcomed you in. I'd have got a chance to meet you. And I was in the airport in Newark, New Jersey. I was flying back to New Mexico. And I declined an invitation to go meet the president in the Oval Office. And the reason why I declined that invitation is because the very next day, we were passing our Second Amendment Sanctuary County resolution in New Mexico, and it was important to the people in my county, and it was important to me. And I told the president, we'll come back another day and see, Mr. President, we're going to secure our county and our right to bear arms. But through traveling, after speaking to the president, I've had great honors in my life. President Trump invited me into the Oval Office. I sat down at the Resolute desk with him. I know him personally. I greeted him when he came out to New Mexico to the rally. He's a great leader. He's a great man. He's got a heart for the people. And he was just doing everything right for us. He was putting our country first, America first. He was securing our border. He was a great president, but as I campaigned and I saw the momentum behind the president's campaign, and then November 3rd rolled around, I knew that they had stole it. I knew there was fraud. I know there's fraud. We're doing an audit, full forensic audit on our 2020 elections in New Mexico and the county that I'm a commissioner in, and I'm spearheading it. And I will proudly hang my hat on that mark. But as the president called, I went to Washington, D.C. on January 6th. I stood on the ellipse. I heard the president speak. And then afterwards, I drifted down to the Capitol in a crowd of great patriots again that looked just like y'all. There was no violence. There was no unrest. There was no disorderly conduct around where I was standing. And I went with the heart of prayer. My good friend Gary Chapman from out in Tennessee had encouraged me to go pray with people on that day. As being a former pastor and as knowing how God's economy works, took it from a message from the Lord to go pray with people. And that's the most important thing to me. So I went down there. By God's grace, I was able to lead thousands of people in prayer off of our nation's capital. I didn't push through any barricades. I didn't fight with anybody again. And then I left. On January 17th, the FBI arrested me on a misdemeanor trespass charge. And I spent 3 weeks in that place they call the D.C. Gulag. And I can guarantee you guys one thing, everything that you hear about that place is true. Unfortunately, I'm very sorry to say it. But that was the torturous time of my life in that jail cell. Well, I finally got out, and I couldn't come back to Washington, D.C. until my federal trial on the charges. The government had offered me 2 plea deals that I denied, because I knew that whatever the government could stick on me, they could stick on many others that were with me outside of the Capitol on that day. I didn't go in. So I fought it to the end. Well, yesterday, my federal trial on my charges started in Washington, D.C. I went before Honorable Judge Trevor McFadden on a 2-count misdemeanor. The misdemeanor read knowingly entering in to an unrestricted zone or unauthorized zone with the willful intent to disrupt the certification of the election. So as the federal trial took place the last 2 days, arguments were great. My defense had an amazing case put together. The prosecution failed over and over to produce what should be needed to be produced in order to convict somebody as being guilty. To the point, I'll give you one example of why I say this. The defense called the Secret Service to the stand, and they had a Secret Service agent, I believe, by the last name of Hawa. And she's worked for the department for 22 years, okay? And so my attorney showed her pictures and videos of that day, and the bike racks and flagging and all the other little things that they were calling the barrier on that day that were taken down before a lot of people got down there. But they showed her the pictures of this, and they asked this Secret Service veteran if she could tell where the restricted area was, and she could not tell. Look it up on record. That was one of many failures. The Capitol Police and the Secret Service, their testimony conflicted constantly. It was a confliction. But, so that took place yesterday. Today we got the verdict. The judge came out. It was a bench trial. It wasn't a jury trial, because anybody with half a brain knows that you're not going to get a jury in Washington, D.C. You know, it's not. So I went before Judge Trevor McFadden. He heard that facts. He felt I was 50-50. I was 1-for-1 today. I won on the charge of disorderly conduct and disruptive behavior. He said there was nothing that expressed that. But on the restricted area charge, the charge that I really wanted to win on, unfortunately, I was found guilty on that. My sentencing will be June 17th. The possible punishment could be 1 year in jail, maximum, and a fine. I don't know, but I'm willing to stand. I'm willing to fight to the end. We have to. And many of you here are looking at each other going, where do we fight? Well, I'll tell you something. The person that you're looking at is where the fight needs to start at. The person looking back, it's us. It's us. You know, I'm living proof that you can work your way up all the way into the office of the President of the United States as a county commissioner and get the word of the President of the United States that he was going to fix my problem in my national forest in New Mexico. And you know how much my problem got fixed? Nada. Not a bit. I didn't get anything done. Our fuels are at an overload. Our towns are burning down, and they're blaming it all on global warming. The greatest president that ever held the office gave me the promise that he was going to fix my problem, and my problem didn't get fixed. And I don't tell that to knock on Donald Trump. I tell that to encourage you on the grassroots, because our help isn't going to come from above. It's got to come from the base. It's got to come in our local governments, our county, our city, our village. Those are the people that hold an oath to office to protect your Constitution and your freedoms. You must hold your locally elected leaders to their oath of office, and if your sheriff doesn't want to perform, if all he wants to do is give you lip service, get him out of office until you get one in there that will work for you. That will keep... Democratically, of course, but you know, but our sheriffs have a lot of swing, y'all. I mean, we've been duped into this thing that we're controlled by the top. We're controlled by state mandates, by federal mandates, and by all these unconstitutional laws that come down the pipe. And that's why your local leaders are elected, so they can stand in the gap and they can keep you from being infringed upon and your freedoms taken away. This vaccine is moving really quick right now. I call it a vaccine. We all know it's not. Vaccines keep you from getting sick. The COVID stuff they're jabbing in people is not keeping people from getting sick. If the truth is known, it's creating a lot of people to get sick. I'm very social and I travel a lot. I talk to the clerks in the grocery stores. I talk to the guy at the gas station. I talk to people every day that tell me, yeah, that vaccine got my aunt the other day. Yeah, I got my uncle. You know, it's killing Americans today as Fauci hides in some hole. And as one of these gentlemen were speaking earlier, this COVID money that he mentioned that was coming in, that's dangerous. Because as a county commissioner recently, okay, and I know I'm rambling and I don't mean to keep, I appreciate you listening to me, but this one's important, okay? We run our county on a $40 million general budget. Recently, the federal government sent a check for $13 million, okay? That's a lot of money that they call COVID money. And I said, COVID money? What do you mean COVID money? Yeah, it's to help us. Really? Well, where's COVID money coming from? Is it coming from our tax base? Or is it a kickback from Big Pharma and locally elected officials for enforcing these mandates that are peddling Big Pharma drugs, the vaccine and such? You know, a lot of us are country, but we're not dumb. And we're awake now. That's the biggest threat to the scumbags that are in elected office that are doing this to us. We're awake. This animal's moving. I myself just try to stay on it. Because I want to honor God and I want to serve God. So I try to go with God. But if I fall off, guess what? God's going to keep moving. We're moving to that day of justice. We have a fake news media that wants us to look at Ukraine's border, so we're not looking at our own border. Okay? And the truth is becoming known. You know, they want us to worry about January 6th whenever we have the Epstein cartel that they don't want us to talk about anymore. Well, I'll tell y'all something. I'm from the great state of New Mexico. I'm 3 generations deep, and I love my state. I love the people. It's the greatest state in the union, as each one of you ought to feel the same way about your own state. But the unfortunate problem with my state in New Mexico is it's home to Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch. Some of y'all might have heard about it, okay? Well, we know at this Zorro Ranch out in New Mexico, this is where the blue-blooded pedophile Prince Andrew came to molest these girls that he had to pay off. Was in New Mexico, and I sit back going, why is my attorney general worried about Griffin? We got Prince Andrew. Let's focus on the big fish. I want Prince Andrew extradited back from England, back to the great state of New Mexico to stand trial for sex crimes because they took place in New Mexico. We get that done and we'll get down the road of justice because guess what? Who's Bill Gates whenever we got Prince Andrew in there, okay? Who's Mark Zuckerberg whenever we got... Who's Hillary Clinton again? Oh, yeah, she's in cell number 3 by Andrew down there. Okay? But that's justice, and it's absolutely lock her up. That was another something, and this isn't going to be a bash on President Trump Day, but by God, we tried to lock her up, and she was never locked up. We know Hillary was a criminal. We know we're getting played by all this Ukrainian stuff over there in the corrupt Ukraine. Ukraine didn't just come on our radar. Hunter Biden brought Ukraine on our radar a long time ago. So I'm going to quit while I still have a voice, but I don't want you to quit. I want you to keep doing what you're doing, and you do it on the local level. You don't have to give up to all these big organizations. Everybody wants your money. You know what? Why don't you keep your money? And if you have a little left over, why don't you give it to somebody that you know needs it? That would be the best way to sow into our world today. If anybody out there that's listening on any of these platforms, if you want to support people to come to the Truckers Convoy, sponsor those people. Buy their gas going up there. Give them a few $100 for a few days worth of food. Put your money in the pockets of those that you can trust, and take the fight on yourself. You know, this isn't America's Ottawa. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Canada. You didn't start this. We beat you to it. But right here in the USA, it only took us one day. That was January the 6th. That was America's Ottawa right there. We came and we stood, and we showed them that we would stand up by millions, strong, And we showed them that we're not going anywhere. We're not going to lose our country. We're not going to be threatened. We're not going to be intimidated. We're not going to back down. They can throw us in jail. They can falsely charge us. And we will keep talking and we will keep fighting for our country. Because if we lose, our children lose. If we lose, we lose our country. But we're going to get it back. Let your hearts not be troubled. We believe in God. We believe in a better day. Amen. Our inheritance is not of this world, nor of the things of this world. Our inheritance is the kingdom of God, and that inheritance has been reserved through God's only Son, Jesus Christ, who died on a cross for our sins, who was buried in a tomb, and in 3 days rose again to show us that he's the way, the truth, and the life. And no man cometh unto the Father but through the Son, Jesus. Okay? That's what scares them about where we stand right now. Because we believe in God, we believe in his power, and we believe in hope and a future, and we're dealing with a bunch of godly atheists that only believe in the dollar and their elected position. We're the threat. And we need to keep moving together and do all things out of love. Amen. Do all things peacefully. If we ever need to stand up strong, we won't stand up one man up by himself. We won't even stand up in a group like this. The only way we will stand up in a group like this is if the county sheriff is right here, and we're fighting through the office of the county sheriff. Because the county sheriff gives the people the right to form militias, posses, and whatever else we need in order to keep our Second Amendment protected and our Constitution in place. It's just up to the American people if we still have the heart, and I believe 100% that we do. So again, I thank you for your time and prayers, and keep on trucking. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, I wanted to get that out there because to me, that was a very, very interesting meeting last night at the People's Convoy in Hagerstown, Maryland, at the Hagerstown Speedway. Like he says, please support us YouTubers and live streamers and stuff like that. Donate to our channels to let us get the word out to all of you that we are one union. We are all one people. Our government is the one that's trying to divide us. We cannot let that stand. United we stand, divided we fall. We must fight for our freedoms and our liberties here in the United States of America. We need to protect our Constitution and our amendment rights in this country. Already on these social media platforms, we're losing our First Amendment rights, our freedom of speech. We have Bozo Biden that's pushing harder than ever with these Democrats that are pushing to try and take away and enforce laws and more red flag bills against our Second Amendment rights. We must fight to keep these rights. Like they have all stated in their live stream, and that was by WYSIWYG TV Shorts. You can find him here on YouTube as well as on Twitter. I also follow Zot and Suznak, as well as First Responders Media here on YouTube on the People's Convoy. These people are going out of their way to fight for our rights in this country. So let me get on, and I'm hoping I do not get a strike from YouTube for some of the things that they were talking about here that I posted on that video. I'm hoping that YouTube will give me the chance to keep on broadcasting these items because these are things that people need to hear. The next thing on my agenda, and I know I'm over an hour into this, but to me, this is an important live stream. Just the day before yesterday, or was it yesterday, Biden was at this big businessman's meeting, world businessman's meeting, with all these other country executives and such. Now, these are big money elite people. And in that meeting, Biden had stated that he is all for the New World Order and wants to be leading the New World Order. Well, for those of you that don't know, the New World Order is actually the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab, and Soros, as well as Zuckerberg and Gates and all them other big elites, they are the ones that are pushing this World Economic Forum. And so far, it's falling into play for them. This is why the first week that Bozo Biden had gotten into office, he started pushing up our gas prices. He started pushing our food prices. Now, he was bragging in that meeting how he got so many million people back to work, the highest number ever of people to get back to work in this country as president. Boy, I'll tell you what, you can tell when a politician lies, and that's when their lips are moving, okay? He didn't get all these people back to work. There's more people that are losing their jobs or quitting their jobs than people that are getting jobs. As far as these truckers and people all around the country, there's truckers that are stating, and these are owner operators as well as company drivers and business owners, that are stating they can no longer afford to deliver products around the country. The fuel prices are so high that these drivers cannot make ends meet. There was a trucker on the day before yesterday who filled up his fuel tanks on his tractor trailer. It cost him $1,200 to fill up his fuel tanks on his truck. He stated that that was his last delivery, and then he was going to park his truck, or he would go to Hagerstown, Maryland, to the Hagerstown Speedway and join the People's Convoy. These people can no longer support themselves, as well as you and me. We're all in the same boat. Look at the prices of these foods that are going sky high. This is all part of the World Economic Forum's agenda. They want to bankrupt the American people. The next step is they're going to buy your home and offer you a price. And either way, or one way or another, they're going to try and take your land and your property away from you. That is where they're saying you will own nothing and be happy comes into effect. It is time for we the people of the United States to fight back. Oh, there goes my there goes my flag. Okay. Give me a second here, people, and I will be right back. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just putting myself on a pause here a second. Give me 1 minute. All right. Okay. I think I'm back to normal here. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see here. I just got another notification which says strange little magnetic waves discovered at Earth's core. Well, Earth's polar axis is shifting right now, as we know. Anyway, let me get back to what I was stating. This World Economic Forum, this is the reason they're pushing the food prices up so high is because they want you to purchase that food like at Aldi's that's called Beyond Meat. It's a fabricated 3D printed meat. It's not real meat. The same with your Impossible Burger at Burger King. That is a veggie bug burger. You also have McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken that are selling fake chicken nuggets. That is all part of the Beyond Meat chicken, supposed chicken tasting chicken nuggets. If you go to KFC and you get a green container, that will be fake meat, the 3D printed meat that they're pushing. You have to be aware of what's going on, people. As we all know, the government is outpricing everything. They're trying to push everybody into poverty, bankrupting everyone, and buying everything that everyone owns. This is part of the World Economic Forum, and we cannot let this stand. It's time that we all fight back. Now, the next thing I want to get into, and this is why we have to fight in our elections coming up here. Now, they're starting in May, going through until November. Vote out these Democrats and these rhinos in the House and the Senate. It's time to vote them all out. Get new people in there, people that support, protect, and defend our Constitution and our amendment rights. All of them. If these people, and do your research on these people that are running for office, see what kind of families they have. See if they're church, God-fearing people. See what kind of lifestyle they live. Make sure they're not just in there for photo ops, smiling and yeah, shake your hand. Yeah, I'll tell you what you want to hear. Yeah. No, pay attention to these people. We have to watch who we get in our government. These government politicians, oops, there goes my flag again. Hang on a second, I got to fix this. Okay. Hopefully I got that all right. Sorry about that, everyone. I hate when that happens. But anyway, get people in our government that we can trust. These politicians were not supposed to be in office and make a career out of it. They were only supposed to be in for a few years and then get out and go back to a normal job. This was the object of keeping an honest government. Instead, what do we have? A tyrannical, corrupt government. Here they are making money hands over fists. We must demand that their salaries be reduced down to, say, $40,000 a year, like your average American citizen. These people only work 126 days a year. They get free transportation anywhere they want to go around the world. We need to put a stop to all of this as I watch my internet going to one dot. All right, I'll get out of that because apparently Google and YouTube don't like me talking about these issues. But I'll get into a little bit more things here. I don't know about any of you people, but I have been having a bit of internet problems. Now, we've been told that there's a possibility, and our government has been telling us, including Bozo Biden, that we're going to be coming under cyber attacks. Is that why I'm having internet issues? I don't believe so. I believe our government is throttling us because they don't want us to get our truth out to the people in the United States. I believe, and I pay good money for my internet service, and I have one of the worst internet services there is in the United States. So, are we going to have cyber attacks from Russia? That's a possibility. Always watch what you're doing and make sure you have a good antivirus VPN or whatever for your internet. You need to have these things to protect your equipment, including your cell phones, okay? Besides your computer. Now, I know our polar axis is shifting right now. They say that within another month, it could do a total reversal. This is a good reason why we are having all of these nasty storms and stuff and unpredictable weather. And as you heard, my AC just kicked on. I fixed it. It is up and running. Thank God, because we're having 80, 90-degree temperatures here in Florida right now. I couldn't live without AC. But anyway, let me get back into this stuff here. Are we having issues now with cyber attacks that our government isn't telling us about? Is that why a lot of people around the country and YouTubers on their live channels are stating that they're all having internet issues? We all pay good money for our internet service. So why are we having internet problems? These browsers that we have, they're supposed to be protecting us, and we're paying to have this kind of service. So why are we getting such lousy service? 5G? Well, some places they're not even having 5G because of airline instrument problems. And now there's news coming out that the honeybee population is dying around the country. And they're stating this is because of the 5G towers. Same with some birds. They live off a magnetic field in our world. When they get thrown off by these microwaves coming from these towers, it's throwing them off course. These bees, what they're doing is they're sealing their beehives so tight that they're suffocating themselves, because when they go into a, how should I say, they're afraid of something corrupting them and their other bees and the queen bees in their hives, they seal off their hives to protect them. And when they're in their hives, they overheat. And with all of them flapping their wings inside that beehive, they overheat. They use up their oxygen once they seal off their hive, and they end up dying of asphyxiation of no oxygen. So we're losing beehives around the country by the millions, people. So you got to take this into consideration. Is 5G a good thing? I don't think so. It's killing our wildlife off. And I believe that that's what this World Economic Forum is trying to push for. Why did Bill Gates buy over 240,000 acres of land? And what's he doing with that land? Nothing as of yet. He's not planting no vegetables anywhere. So what's going on here? Are these big elites doing this on purpose? I would say, yeah. They're trying to bankrupt you and me, put us all in poverty, and be a dictatorship over us all. This is why we have the Freedom People's Convoy going on in this country. It's time for us to fight back now. Now, this ordeal with Russia and Ukraine, I got to let you all know that you have, what's his name, Zelensky, that's in Ukraine. He's been fighting with his citizens, battling against the Russian military. Now, the Russian military may have many, many men, but their vehicles are very, very old. Their tanks go back to World War II. The only thing that Russia has going for them is those ballistic missiles, those supersonic missiles that are bombing Ukraine right now. That's the only thing that Putin really has going for him. And now, look at China. China is also building plateaus up outside of Taiwan, and they're making them military bases that have petroleum products such as gas and jet fuel and oil, which is what? That's a danger to the United States. Why I say it's a danger to the United States? That brings them actually into striking range of the United States. Excuse me. When that brings them into striking range of the United States, they can try and do battle with us and attack the United States anytime they'd like. Now, we worry about them trying to take out Taiwan. Well, that's where it may start. Once we intervene to protect Taiwan, then of course they will try to attack us here in the United States. So not only do we have China to worry about, we also have Russia to worry about, because Putin has put his missiles on Cuban soil and Venezuela soil and has stated that if we intervene in the Ukraine-Russia ordeal, that he will fire his missiles upon us here in the United States. Now, are you people prepared for a nuclear war? Are you prepared for war on United States soil? You should be. These are things that we all have to worry about. We have to worry about nuclear war. Do you have a gas mask? Do you have a suit for radiation poisoning? Do you have potassium iodide pills to protect you from eating food that could have radiation poisoning? Potassium iodide is what filters, goes in, it regulates your thyroid to clean the foods that you're eating and keep you from getting radiation poison from radiated food. I would suggest that you people buy your seeds and fertilizer now. The prices are going to go sky high in another week or two. And I've been telling people on my other channel, One Liberty, One Freedom, over 6 months ago, even on my old channels that were deleted by YouTube. Thank you very much, YouTube, which was Nomad Prepper 1 and Nomad Prepper. Those were deleted by YouTube because when they came out with their new terms and conditions, they went back to old videos and said, this doesn't fit our new terms and conditions, put strikes against me, and deleted those channels. But what I'm getting to is we need to protect ourselves. We need to be ready. You need to have your items in order. Buy your food, your building supplies, your seeds, your fertilizer, all these things. Store up on gas. The prices are going to go up higher than what they are even now. California is already paying over $7 a gallon of gas. They're predicting by the end of April that we, in areas that are paying $4.25 and better in gas right now, we will be paying maybe as much as $8 a gallon. And by the 4th of July, we could be paying as much as $15 a gallon. People, you need to be prepared. Do you have a generator? Do you have a solar generator? Do you have solar panels? Do you have propane tanks stored up? You need to get these items together now. Now, you know, Bozo Biden's been pushing this Green New Deal with these electric cars, which is another thing he brought up in his little speech the other night, talking about electric cars being sold at record paces. Well, let me give you a little information about electric cars. They're not set up yet to be able to withstand, how should I say, I'll just put it this way: the batteries cannot withstand the ability of powering those cars. Even the electric vehicles that have been on the market for the last couple of years, like Nissan's electric cars, those Nissan batteries only lasted a couple of years, and then it costs you over $4,500 to replace those batteries in those electric cars. Now, when you're charging these electric cars, some of them you can go 150 miles, others you can go up to 300 miles. But the problem is the charging stations. They don't have enough charging stations. And then if you charge at your home, well, guess what? Your electric bill is going to triple. Prices are already going sky high on electric and everything else. So guess what? You'll be paying triple the amount for electricity. Now, with these brownouts and everything that they're having in California and other states where they're just shutting your electric down for a day or 8 hours or whatever, what if you need to charge your car? Guess what? No electricity. You can't charge that electric vehicle. Now, Biden talks about getting us so that we don't need gas, and he wants to outlaw gas vehicles by 2030 and diesel as well. Well, let me tell you a little something. That can't happen. How are you going to take a plane flight? Planes run on jet fuel. How are you going to take a bus across country? That runs on diesel fuel. The tractor trailers to deliver your products to the stores. Where's that? What do they run on? Diesel fuel. What do the trains run on? Diesel fuel. So how can you eliminate petroleum products when everything we use today is a petroleum-based product? What's your phone made out of? Plastic. It's a petroleum-based product. What's the components for, say, your remote control for your TV, your computers, your laptops? All these items are petroleum products. You need oil to make these petroleum products. So I don't see where Bozo Joe can push this agenda except for through the World Economic Forum. We, the people around the world, are the only ones that can stop these governments from doing this. This is why it's time for us all to rise up and stop all of this, as you had seen in that video from the People's Convoy. They suggest contact your town officials, county officials, state officials, politicians. Protest, get permits, do everything the proper way. Get the permits. If you're only going to have 150 people, say you're going to have 1,500 people or 15,000 people, then this way you contact your local police or sheriffs or whoever, tell them that you're going to have it this certain date for this peaceful protest so they can be aware of everything and you'll be following the law. Then guess what? Your words can be heard. Maybe that, and only that way, is the way to wake up these politicians in these states. Vote them all out if they are not doing you justice in this country. Now, another thing I want to get into is I would suggest you watch what these banks are doing. They're pushing right now what they call a cryptocurrency. And I'm not talking Bitcoin or Dogecoin or any of them other ones. This is a government cryptocurrency that they're trying to put together here in the United States. And our United States banks are backing them. I would suggest that you start purchasing silver, gold, and if you're going to buy any kind of cryptocurrency, get items like Bitcoin, Ethereum. Get these items now. Don't keep your money in the bank. Our government, at any time, all they have to do is tell these banks to freeze our accounts, and then we have no access to our cash. And if they close these banks, your cash will last for a few months until they do put this cryptocurrency, government cryptocurrency, into effect. This is why we need to stop all of this. Because if they put this cryptocurrency in effect, what happens? Well, they control what you can buy, tell you what you can't buy, when you can buy it, and when you cannot buy it, or if you can buy it at all. They will control everything that you do. This was all their plan with this pandemic. I have called it right from the very beginning. They're training you and brainwashing you to do what they want you to do. Never in the history of the United States has its citizens ever done anything that our government tells us to do. They work for us. We don't work for them. This is why I suggest buy your items now. Prices are going to double and triple within the next few months. I've been stating this for well over 6 months, and you people need to adhere to what I'm saying. Get these items, get your supplies now. Buy your foods, buy your meats, freeze dry them if you can afford a freeze dryer. Otherwise, can them, dehydrate them. Get these items now. Buy canned meats. I've been purchasing things for well over a year, and I have well over a year's worth of food. I have canned meats like roast beef, pulled pork, chicken, crab meat, tuna fish. I do have a little bit of spam, but I'm not a big spam eater because I really don't like all the sodium. But I do have canned soups, pastas, rices, beans, as well as canned. I also have dried. Don't forget, stock up on eggs. Eggs are starting to go through the roof. Make sure you have water, communications, things like a Biofang ham radio, walkie-talkies, CB radios. You're going to need communications. Have items to start fires with. Have candles. Have kerosene lanterns and buy some kerosene. You know, kerosene lanterns put off over around 450 degrees. So that would keep you warm in a cold situation outside. You must get these items now. Get your medical supplies together. Neosporins, cold medicine, anti-gas, Pepto-Bismol, things of that nature, Tums, whatever you need. Get your toothpaste, your deodorant, your toilet paper. For your vehicles, get gas, get oil, get air filters, gas filters, spark plugs, plug wires, brake pads. Get these items together now. Because if this grid fails us and everything goes down, they're already having auto parts shortages at these auto parts stores. Order these items and get them now. It's better to have and not need than to need and not have. Also, get your boomsticks and your freedom seeds. And I know freedom seeds, they're just starting to come back in the markets, in these ammo shops. get them. Yeah, the prices are a little high, but I suggest that you get these items now because the prices are going to get even higher. You need to buy these items now. We're already in an SHTF situation right now. I can't push this hard enough, people. Now, I ask that you go to my website, AmericanFreedomFighters.net. I have a lot of good information in the blog. You can buy nutrient food, survival food. You can buy prepper items, survival items like Berkey filters and things of that nature through the preparedmind.club. That's also on my AmericanFreedomFighters.net website, as well as you can read our constitutional rights on my website, as well as other links. You have Jared with Guns and Gadgets. I have a link to him. I also have a link to the American Gun Owners of America, as well as the NRA. I have good links on my site. I also have donation links for the People's Convoy, the Freedom Truckers Convoy. I have a donation link for the Wounded Warriors, as well as AmericanFreedomFighters.net donation page. And I will be selling merchandise on that site as well here very shortly. People, it's time to wake up. And I'm hoping I do not get a strike on this channel because of what I've stated here this evening and on the video that I posted here on this channel this evening. If I do get a strike, this channel will be down for a week. If I do not get a strike, then I will see you next Wednesday. I'm going to try and change my time to 6 p.m. Wednesday evening, Eastern Time. Now, all that stuff that I've talked about tonight and what you've seen on this channel, I want you to be aware of what's going on. Like I say, we are one people. There is no division among us. The government is the ones that are trying to push us and divide us and make everything look like we are against each other. We have no problems with race here. We have no problems whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. It does not make a difference. There are people from all walks of life. We all need to stand as one here in the United States of America. And I don't care when you watch this video. It could be morning, noon, or night. But subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to One Liberty, One Freedom. On One Liberty, One Freedom, when I get 1,000 subscribers on that channel, I will be giving away this 1 ounce silver bar. Everyone, it's time to take things into our own hands. If you need to contact me, just go to AmericanFreedomFighters.net and you will see my email on that website. If you want to subscribe and receive a newsletter, contact me and I will be able to give you all the updated information on our Second Amendment rights as far as what red flag gun bills are being pushed in our Senate right now. They're pushing hard for that H.R. 8 once again. They're trying to put it back in to push it through. We need to stop this. It was written in our Constitution that any laws that rewrite over our Constitution shall be null and void. We need to stand up. We need to stop the corruption and the tyrannical government. Excuse me, getting a little tongue-tied. But everyone, you must take heed. Now is the time that we must stand up and fight for our freedom in this country once again. Like Brian, one of the organizers there with the People's Convoy. We must fight now against this government. If not, the last thing that we will be doing is having a revolutionary war in this country against our government. Maybe it is time to overthrow this government. We must, at least now, try it peacefully to contact these politicians, have them and let them know that they work for us, to lift that emergency act that they have in effect right now. Because while this emergency act is in effect here in the United States, we have no constitutional rights that are legal in this country. You have to adhere to this stuff, people. Remember, if we lose our freedom here in the United States, there's nowhere else in the world that we can go to have the freedoms that we have here. Every nation around the world, people in all these nations around the world are finally standing up to fight for their freedom. We must fight for our freedom now, before we lose it all. On that note, people, I've been on here a lot longer, and that video did take me, I would say, a good almost hour into the live stream. But I wanted to get this information out to you, and I know that this has been a long live stream. But please, think about what I'm talking about here. We have a lot of things going on in this world right now. Our government, our United States government, is throwing all these curveballs at us all over the place to keep our minds off of what our government is doing behind our backs. They're throwing up all these smoke screens at us to keep us divided and keep us unaware of what they're doing. I don't know if you people realize this, but they gave themselves a $24,000 each raise the last infrastructure bill that they passed. What did they just do last week? They pushed another bill through, giving themselves a 21% raise once again. What are they doing for we, the American people? Instead of giving us any kind of reparations or stimulus relief with these high prices, you do have some states that are starting to take their gas taxes off of their gas, but it's not enough. We need to protest. Now is the time. We need to fight for our God-given rights, our humanitarian rights in this country. On that note, everyone, I'm going to get out of here tonight. I will be on here once again if I do not receive a strike. I will be on here next Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Tony D with the American Freedom Fighters. Once again, don't forget to check out the website, AmericanFreedomFighters.net. Support us. Support each other. It's time for us to unite. It's time for us to take a stand. We have had enough. Now, everyone, pray up, prep up, get your MAG together. That's a mutual assistance group for those who do not know what a MAG means. Get your communications, your supplies, everything in order. Get it done now while you're able to do it. On that note, God bless y'all. God bless America. I pray for you all. Take care, everyone. We all need to do one thing, and it is fight for our freedom. Good night, everyone.